This is your News Source Evening Bulletin for today, Tuesday, the 2nd day of July in the year 2024. I'm Gordon Mosley reporting, and here's what we're tracking tonight. Re-elected leader of the People's National Congress Reform Aubrey Norton, while not being opposed to a consensus candidate to lead an opposition coalition at the next elections, has made it clear that any consensus candidate will have to come from his party, the PNC Reform.
Consensus candidate is a loose concept, but let's assume they're talking about a candidate that all agree to. I have no problem looking at a consensus candidate. But a consensus candidate in the circumstance most likely will come from the PNC. Like I said to people, there's no sense you having like 90% of the shares and you allow 3 or 10% to determine. Our supporters would have elected me with a clear view that they think I'm competent, capable of running an election. Barring some unforeseen, I would say that I have been given the mandate, but I'm still disposed to discussion because things can change in a minute.
Norton was re-elected unopposed to the position of party leader after all of the other nominees withdrew from the leadership race in the party this past weekend. At the party's Congress, which took place at Congress Place, delegates also passed a motion for the leader of the People's National Congress Reform to be the party's presidential candidate at the next elections. The motion allows for the party leader to decide on another person to take up the presidential candidate position if he so chooses. Speaking with News Source, Mr. Norton said he also intends to meet with the Alliance for Change and the other coalition partners soon.
The PNC is strong, it has the capacity to go on its own. But our preference is for coalition. And once we can work it out, we can go as a coalition. But as a political party that is practical, you have to prepare on 2 fronts. If you have to go it alone, but 3 fronts. If you go in with the APNU alone, or if you go in with the APNU AFC. All 3 options we will keep open.
At the end of 2022, the Alliance for Change opted not to renew the Cummingsburg Accord with the APNU, which was the agreement that cemented the APNU-AFC coalition ahead of the 2015 national elections, which the coalition won. Norton said with both the PNC, which is the largest party in the APNU, and the AFC completing their internal elections, the door remains open for them to re-engage on the coalition. In the interim, he said the People's National Congress Reform will intensify its work on the ground, mobilizing young people while actively tackling corruption in government. At the opening of the PNCR Congress over the weekend, Norton told delegates that a 69-year-old party must seek to obtain and maintain the trust of the Guyanese people ahead of next year's elections.
As we build a just, inclusive and prosperous society, we must continue to work assiduously to increase the support of the people. Our contract is a new deal for the people of Guyana. The PNCR will seek to obtain and maintain the trust of the people to govern. We see our commitments, our pledges, and our responses to Guyanese people as a contract with the people of Guyana.
At the party's elections, the chairman, Sherwin Holder, was returned as the party chairman with a landslide victory over the other competitors. Elizabeth Niles and Vince Roy Jordan have been voted back in as the co-vice chairpersons, while economic advisor to the party, Elson Lowe, has been elected to the position of treasurer of the PNC Reform. More news coming up in just a moment.
is so much more than just four walls, floors, and ceilings. It's a lifetime of great memories and stories. Come talk to us and start your journey home today.
Republic Bank, we're the one for you.
GECOM is currently conducting a claims and objections exercise to produce an official list of electors, OLE. If you are 18 years or over by June 30, 2024, and you are a Guyanese citizen by birth, descent, or naturalization, or a citizen from a Commonwealth country living in Guyana for 1 year or more, you are eligible for inclusion in the OLE. GECOM has posted the preliminary list of electors PLE in all the registration divisions for you to check if you are listed and whether your particulars are accurate. You can object to anyone you believe does not qualify for inclusion in the OLE. To do so, you must be listed in the same divisional list as the person you are objecting to. Visit the GECOM registration office responsible for your area of residence to make an objection. The objections aspect of this exercise will end on Monday, the 22nd of July, 2024. For more information, contact GECOM on 2250-27829 or visit www.gecom.org.gy.
Grenada has received the first shipment of relief aid from Guyana as the sister CARICOM state recovers from the ravages of Hurricane Beryl, which made landfall in the Grenadian island of Carriacou on Sunday. In a statement, the Guyana Civil Defense Commission said the relief items included generators, water purification tablets, chainsaws, batteries, hygiene items, and other necessities. The Director General of the Civil Defense Commission, retired Colonel Nigel Hughes, officially handed over the items to Grenada's Minister for Climate Resilience, the Environment and Renewable Energy, Karine James. That handover took place at the Maurice Bishop International Airport earlier today in Grenada. President Irfan Ali has announced that Guyana will support its sister CARICOM states that have been devastated by the hurricane. A special relief coordinating committee has been activated by the Guyana government, with Prime Minister Mark Phillips taking charge of that committee. President Irfan Ali has urged citizens and the private sector of the Caribbean region to coordinate closely with their respective governments and regional emergency response mechanisms in providing support and relief to those affected by the hurricane. The Caribbean Disaster Emergency Management Agency, CDEMA, has been mobilizing and coordinating assistance and disaster relief. Following the passage of Hurricane Beryl in some parts of the Caribbean region, CARICOM leaders were forced to postpone their 47th regular Heads of Government meeting, which was scheduled to take place in Grenada from tomorrow, the 3rd of July, until the 5th. Grenada is one of the CARICOM states that was in the direct path of the hurricane, and the island activated all emergency systems ahead of the hurricane, which made landfall on the Grenadian island of Carriacou. In a statement, the CARICOM Secretariat indicated that the primary focus on the community is now on citizens' safety and security. CARICOM also said the regional disaster emergency systems were all activated in preparation for the hurricane, and those systems are now in relief mode. With a rallying call that better must come, prominent attorney Nigel Hughes emerged as the new leader of the Alliance for Change on Saturday following the leadership elections at the party's national conference. While Hughes went into the Congress with just 2 nominations, he was able to pull off a landslide victory against his only competitor for the position, Sherrod Duncan. Mr. Hughes amassed a total of 149 delegate votes to Duncan's total vote count of 62. Hughes, who previously served as a chairman of the Alliance for Change, said he is deeply humbled by the confidence instilled in him by his party.
First of all, I am humbled and deeply appreciative of all the people that have made this work, including Sherrod, who ran against me, because it made me a better candidate. The competition makes us better. The people who have encouraged me over the years to consider taking these steps, I say thank you. Of course, to my parents and to my foreparents.
The attorney said in moving the country forward, it is important to build an all-inclusive country where young people have a greater say in the country's development. The Alliance for Change is currently in a parliamentary coalition with a Partnership for National Unity, the APNU. The People's National Congress Reform is the largest party in the APNU-AFC coalition, with the AFC being the second largest.
One of the key things is we have one agenda for Guyana, just one agenda. There are many things that have to be changed now. The country is, I think, in a very precarious state in terms of our relations. Those have to be addressed, but most importantly, our future. Our future has to be all-inclusive. Every single person, particularly the young people, have to be involved in the planning of the future, and they have to participate in it. It cannot be a top-down governance. All of us have to plan, and you'll hear more later.
Meanwhile, in conceding defeat, Sherrod Duncan, who also got voted out as General Secretary, said he will continue to serve his party and the country. Duncan, who is a member of Parliament and the former Deputy Mayor of Georgetown, has built up a large following on social media over the years with his morning and evening talk shows.
Mr. Hughes, Nigel Hughes, emerged as the leader of the Alliance for Change through that electoral process. I've already had the privilege of congratulating him and stand ready to work with the party in moving forward.
But the AFC's elections was not without hiccups on Saturday. During the election for party leader, the first round was scrapped by the returning officers over concerns that there were a small number of duplicate votes. Chartered accountant Christopher Ram served as a returning officer with the chairman of the Guyana Public Service Cooperative Credit Union, Trevor Ben, as his assistant.
Very, very sad note, a sad start in that sense. The first round of voting for the leader of Alliance for Change, the returning officers would have observed that persons, a couple, not any great number, would have voted twice. There were some persons who had on other person's ID card, and those persons were not even authorized to be part of this National Conference of the Alliance for Change. And so the returning officers had a good sense that the process had been compromised. They scrapped that and went to the ballot again for leader.
Duncan said he was satisfied with the end result and the returning officers who ensured that the election was fair and transparent. He also thanked his supporters. Meanwhile, David Patterson was elected the chairman of the AFC, with another party co-founder, Raphael Trotman, elected as the new general secretary. Trotman previously held the positions of leader and chairman. His election to the general secretary's position marks his return to active politics, as he had taken a back seat in recent years owing to ill health.
The Guyana Elections Commission GECOM is currently conducting a claims and objections exercise to produce an official list of electors OLE. If you became 18 years or over by June 30th, 2024, and you are a Guyanese citizen by birth, descent, or naturalization, or a citizen from a Commonwealth country living in Guyana for 1 year or more, you are eligible for inclusion in the OLE. GECOM has posted the preliminary list of electors PLE in all of the registration divisions across Guyana for you to check if you are listed. And if so, whether your particulars are accurate. You can make a claim for registration, change or correction to your particulars, or you can object to the inclusion of anyone who you believe should not be on the list. If you are desirous of making a claim or objection, you must visit the GECOM registration office responsible for your area of residence to do so. Visit the GECOM registration office responsible for your area of residence to conduct any of the above transactions. All GECOM registration offices will be open Mondays to Fridays from 8 hours to 18 hours, Saturdays and Sundays from 10 hours to 14 hours. For further information, contact GECOM at 225-027829, 226-65578 or 9, 223-9650, or visit our website at www.gecom.org.gy.
NYC, New York City. Get ready as the original Big People Party with the same vibes you've seen and loved comes to you this Labor Day weekend on Saturday, August 31st with some of the biggest one-man bands out of Guyana and New York. Look out for Super A, Murphy, Busta, and Super Terry. Big People Party! Along with the legendary Glenn Washington.
Baby, don't take my kindness for weakness. If loving you is wrong,
Glenn Washington.
I don't wanna be right.
Glenn Washington and his band at Industry City, New York City. Get your super early bird general tickets at $40 and VIP access $150 all inclusive. And all are available at hjexperience.com. This event is brought to you by Hits and Jams Entertainment, Marvelous Entertainment, and GD Events. It's the original Big People Party at Industry City, New York City on Saturday, August 31st. The big and proper edition.
Mobil 1 is more than oil. It's many oils. It transforms at the molecular level. When cold, it's thicker than honey. When hot, it's thinner than water. Mobil 1 adapts and readapts to last longer. 16,000 kilometers between oil changes. That's your engine evolved.
Sol Guyana is the authorized distributor of Mobil lubricants.
The Guyana Elections Commission GECOM is currently conducting a claims and objections exercise to produce an official list of electors OLE. If you became 18 years or over by June 30th, 2024, and you are a Guyanese citizen by birth, descent, or naturalization, or a citizen from a Commonwealth country living in Guyana for 1 year or more, you are eligible for inclusion in the OLE. GECOM has posted the preliminary list of electors PLE in all of the registration divisions across Guyana for you to check if you are listed, and if so, whether your particulars are accurate. If you have changed your address since you were registered, you need to visit the GECOM registration office responsible for your new area of residence to apply for a transfer. Monday, 15 July 2024 is the last day you can apply for a transfer during this exercise. For further information, contact GECOM at 225-027829, 226-65578 or 9, 223-9650, or visit our website at www.gecom.org.gy.
Some tragic news to report now. A massive fire which completely gutted 3 buildings and damaged 2 others in Bushlot, Berbice last evening also claimed the life of a man who lived in one of those buildings. The dead man has been identified as Carl Posada. It is suspected that he became trapped at the top of the 2-story building where the fire started. The Nalico and Nafico insurance companies were housed in the bottom flat of that same building, which was located along Public Road, Bushlot. Eyewitnesses said the man was seen at the window of his living quarters waving for help, but he soon became consumed by the heavy smoke and flames. No one was able to rescue him. By the time the fire service arrived on the scene, 2 buildings were on fire, with a 3rd being badly threatened. It took the firemen almost 1 hour to control the blaze, which also gutted a building that housed a number of small businesses. In a statement last evening, the Guyana Fire Service said it responded within 10 minutes of receiving the first call about the blaze. Additional fire tenders were sourced from Mahaica and New Amsterdam, the fire service said. In the world of business and finance, the World Bank Group has announced the appointment of its first resident representative in Guyana. The appointment of the senior World Bank official, Deletta Doretti, to the position took effect on the 1st of July. In a statement, the World Bank said the appointment of a resident representative seeks to unify country-level leadership across the institution to better support Guyana's public and private sector priorities. According to the bank, the newly created position provides a single point of contact for access to the full breadth of World Bank Group products and services, and will also enhance the institution's ability to address global challenges and drive development with speed, efficiency, and impact. The new resident representative said the World Bank's goal is to increase operations in Guyana and to have a unified leadership to partner with the government and the private sector to ensure that impactful results can be delivered. She also said the bank is exploring key sectors, including agribusiness, tourism, education, access to finance for small and medium-sized enterprises, as well as transportation and logistics infrastructure in Guyana. The World Bank rep also explained that in Guyana, the World Bank is working to advance human capital with a particular focus on education and strengthening climate resilience to flood risk management. The new resident representative, who previously led the group's engagements with the public sector in Guyana, will now also be responsible for deepening and managing the partnership with the Guyanese authorities and the private sector. Additionally, Doretti will develop integrated solutions that span both sectors to ensure the effective implementation of the World Bank Group's engagement framework in the country, the bank stated in its statement.
GECOM is currently conducting a claims and objections exercise to produce an official list of electors, OLE. GECOM has posted the preliminary list of electors, PLE, in all of the registration divisions across Guyana for you to check if you are listed, and if so, whether your particulars are accurate. If you are 18 years or over by June 30, 2024, and you are a Guyanese citizen by birth, descent, or naturalization, or a citizen from a Commonwealth country living in Guyana for 1 year or more, you are eligible for inclusion in the OLE. If you are eligible for inclusion in the OLE, you are required to apply for registration if your name is not in the PLE, apply for a transfer if you have changed your address since you were registered, apply for a name change if you have changed your name, or apply for a correction if your registration particulars are incorrect. Any person whose information on the PLE is incorrect can apply for such information to be changed or corrected. Any person applying for a change or correction to his or her particulars must provide the relevant original source document, birth certificate and deed poll for a name change by deed poll, marriage certificate and ID card for a name change by marriage, divorce absolute in the case of a woman who is desirous of reverting to her maiden name from her married name, birth certificate, adoption or naturalization certificate for correction of minor clerical errors. Visit the GECOM registration office responsible for your area of residence to conduct any of those transactions. The claims aspect of this exercise will end on Monday, July 15, 2024. For more information, contact the GECOM on 225-0278-9 or visit www.gecom.org.gy.
Look at the breathtaking beauty of the Essequibo. From its pristine rivers to its abundant resources, it's a treasure that belongs to Guyana, and we ask Venezuela to respect the rule of international law.
Our commitment to this land is not just about ownership. It's about preserving its beauty and resources for our people and future generations.
The controversy between Guyana and Venezuela was settled internationally as full, perfect, and final in 1899. Essequibo belongs to Guyana.
Guyana's economy is rapidly transforming, and we're all part of it. Guyoil is at the forefront of this development by providing reliable and efficient energy and supporting community development from the very core. 100% of Guyoil's profit goes back to building schools, roads, and other important infrastructure that connects our cities and towns, providing fuel to domestic, marine, industrial, and aerial transportation. Guy Oil has now repositioned itself as a market leader in the petroleum industry, building a better future for all of us.
Your own home is so much more than just four walls, floors, and ceilings. It's a lifetime of great memories and stories. Come talk to us and start your journey home today.
Republic Bank. We're the one for you.
Monster, bust the flavors. We're full of flavors. Bust the flavors, that my crave for. We're full of flavors. Tell your neighbors about the bust the flavors. Grab a bust the flavors. Yeah, thirst buster, grab a buster. Bust the flavor, taste the savor. Buster, bust the flavors. Buster, bust the flavors.
With your regional and international news tonight, I am Svetlana Marshall in the region. Hurricane Beryl barreled towards Jamaica as a powerful Category 5 storm on Tuesday after making landfall on smaller islands in the Caribbean, downing power lines, bringing floods, and reportedly killing 2 people. The storm made landfall on Monday on the Carriacou Island, part of Grenada, where 1 person was killed and power was cut island-wide. Another person was reportedly killed in St. Vincent, though Reuters could not immediately verify this. Video from Barbados showed waves pounding the shore of the island, breaching walkways, felling palm trees, and flooding roads in the capital, Bridgetown. In St. Vincent and the Grenadines, the hurricane has come and gone, and it has left in its wake immense destruction. Prime Minister Ralph Gonsalves said, Union Island has been devastated, he said, with 90% of the houses severely damaged or destroyed. Gonsalves confirmed 1 person had died and that there could be more fatalities. Beryl is expected to bring 4 to 12 inches of rainfall to Jamaica on Wednesday, possibly triggering flash floods, the U.S. National Hurricane Center, NHC, said. Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro said on Monday that he has accepted a proposal to restart direct talks with the United States. In a televised broadcast, Maduro said after serious consideration, he has agreed to recommence direct talks with the U.S. starting next Wednesday. In late 2023, Washington and Caracas secured a prisoner exchange deal following months of negotiations mediated by Qatar. Venezuela official negotiator and the president of the National Assembly will travel for the talks, Maduro said, without detailing specific topics to be discussed. The talks started some 2 years ago, but after U.S. oil sanctions were reimposed last April, Maduro's government accused the United States of violating the Qatar Accord. And finally tonight, international news. At least 87 people were feared dead in a stampede at a Hindu religious gathering in India's northern state of Uttar Pradesh on Tuesday, broadcaster NDTV reported. The stampede happened in a village in Hathras district, about 125 miles southeast of the national capital, New Delhi, where authorities said a large crowd had gathered on an area of open ground in response to a call from a local religious leader. The district police spokesperson put the death toll at about 60 people, but said the figure may rise. And that's your News Source Evening Bulletin for tonight. I'm Svetlana Marshall reporting and encouraging you to stay safe.